While Pixar may have initially focused on original films, minus the Toy Story series, recent years have seen the studio release sequels to nearly all their most beloved properties. Reception has been somewhat mixed. Finding Dory, Monsters University, and both Cars sequels are not necessarily bad film, but they fall into the lower echelons of Pixar's work. Meanwhile, new properties Coco and Inside Out have won rave reviews across the board. Where will Incredibles 2 fall? Does the Brad Bird-directed sequel, reaching cinemas 14 years after the original, suffer from sequelitis? The reviews are now out on our favorite superhero family's latest outing, and, perhaps to some surprise, the consensus looks unanimously positive. Currently holding a 96% score on aggregate website Rotten Tomatoes and an 83 on Metacritic. As of writing, Pixar's latest sequel has impressed critics, many praising the character arches, powerful messages, and an awe-inspiring set-piece featuring a runaway train. Due to Incredibles 2 reaching US cinemas almost a month before the UK-15 June in the States, the 13th of July here, the majority of reviews come from American publication. The UK consensus should likely come over the next few weeks. Until then, read snippets of the reviews below. Released, the 12th of February. Director, Ryan Coogler. Cast, Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, Lupita Nyong'o, Forrest Whitaker, Danai Gurira, Martin Freeman. Released, the 1st of January. Director, Michael Gracie. Cast, Hugh Jackman, Zac Efron, Michelle Williams, Rebecca Ferguson, Zendaya. Released, the 12th of January. Director, Joe Wright. Cast, Gary Oldman, Kristen Scott Thomas, Ben Mendelsohn. Released, the 12th of January. Director, Martin McDonagh. Cast, Francis McDormand, Woody Harrelson, Sam Rockwell, Caleb Landry Jones. Greater than. Released, the 19th of January. Director, Lee Unkrich, P. Greater than. Cast, Anthony Gonzalez, Gael Garcia Bernal, Benjamin Bratt, Renee Victor. Released, the 19th of January. Director, Alexander Payne. Cast, Matt Damon, Christopher Waltz, John Chow, Kristen Wiig, Jason Sudeikis. Released, the 26th of January. Director, Nick Park. Cast, Eddie Redmayne, Tom Hiddleston, Maisie Williams, Timothy Spall. Released, the 9th of February. Director, James Foley. Cast, Dakota Johnson, Jamie Dornan, Kim Basinger. Released, the 9th of February. Director, Wes Ball. Cast, Dylan O'Brien, Thomas Brody Sangster, Cusco Delario, Giancarlo Esposito, Aidan Gillen. Released, the 16th of February. Director, Guillermo del Toro. Cast, Sally Hawkins, Octavia Spencer, Michael Shannon, Michael Stuhlbarg, Doug Jones. Released, the 23rd of February. Director, Alex Garland. Cast, Natalie Portman, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Gina Rodriguez, Tessa Thompson, Oscar Isaac. Released, the 23rd of February. Director, Cleo Barnard. Cast, Ruth Wilson, Mark Stanley, Sean Bean. Released, the 2nd of March. Director, Francis Lawrence. Cast, Jennifer Lawrence, Joel Edgerton, Jeremy Irons. Released, the 16th of March. Director, Rory Togg. Cast, Alicia Vikander, Walton Goggins, Daniel Wu, Dominic West. Released, the 23rd of March. Director, Ava DuVernay. Cast, Oprah Winfrey, Reese Witherspoon, Mindy Kaling, Zach Galifianakis. Released, the 23rd of March. Director, Stephen S. DeKnight. Cast, John Boyega, Scott Eastwood, Charlie Day, Ben Gorman. Released, the 23rd of March. Director, Dan Gilroy. Cast, Denzel Washington, Colin Farrell, Carmen Ejogo. Released, the 30th of March. Director, Wes Anderson. Cast, Bill Murray, Bryan Cranston, Edward Norton, Tilda Swinton, Scarlett Johansson. Released, the 30th of March director, Steven Spielberg cast, Ty Sheridan, Olivia Cook, Ben Mendelsohn, Mark Rylance, Simon Pegg released, the 27th of April director, the Russo brothers cast, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, Josh Brolin released, the 25th of May director, Ron Howard cast, Alden Ehrenreich, Emilia Clarke, Woody Harrelson, Donald Glover released, the 8th of June director, J.A. Bayona cast, Bryce Dallas Howard, Chris Pine, B.D. Wong, Toby Jones released, the 1st of June director, David Leitch cast, Ryan Reynolds, Morena Baccarin, T.J. Miller, Zazie Beetz, Josh Brolin released, the 22nd of June director, Gary Ross cast, Chandra Bullock, Kate Blanchett, Mindy Kaling, Sarah Paulson, Anne Hathaway, Olivia Munn, Helena Bonham Carter, Rihanna, Matt Damon released, the 29th of June director, Peyton Reed cast, Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer released, the 29th of June director, Stefano Sollima cast, Benicio del Toro, Josh Brolin, Jeffrey Donovan, Catherine Keener, Matthew Modine released, the 13th of July director, Brad Bird cast, Craig T. Nelson, Holly Hunter, Sarah Vowell, Samuel L. Jackson, Roger Ebert, Brian D'Alarico, 3.5/4. It's a movie that's constantly in motion, surprising you with the way it so seamlessly flows from action to comedy to family and back again, buoyed by a jazzy, fantastic score by Michael Giacchino. It's a testament to Bird's filmmaking ability how effortless Incredibles 2 often feels. Nothing feels too eager to please, even the Jack material, which is surprisingly funny and fresh. Washington Post, Michael O'Sullivan, 4/5. Perhaps most intriguingly, Incredibles 2 is both pop culture eye candy and a sly critique of it, albeit one delivered in the form of the bad guy, who rails against the mediation of screens as a poor substitute for unfiltered life experience. I don't need to tell you who wins here, but it's refreshing to see a movie sequel that can question its own existence, even as it revels in it. Vulture, David Edelstein. Can we dare to hope that the studio people behind the current plague of superhero movies will watch Incredibles 2 and feel a twitch of shame? Their films are largely set inside computers anyway, so why not take their cues from Bird and streamline the storytelling, distill the action to its lyrical essence, and give us one great climactic sequence instead of the usual shambolic 5? May they learn from the Bird to fly high. The Hollywood Reporter, Todd McCarthy. Co-director Lee Unkrich. Pixar doesn't make movies for kids boosted by central characters that remain vastly engaging and a deep supply of wit. Incredibles 2 certainly proves worth the wait, even if it hits the target but not the bullseye in quite the way the first one did. It remains to be seen whether everyone who loved the original when they were 6 years old and is now 20 will rush out to catch this follow-up, but there's plenty of crackling entertainment value here for viewers from 5 to 95. Screen Daily, Tim Grierson. If there's one quibble with this nimble entertainment, it's that Bird's eye-popping flair outpaces his story's emotional resonance. Incredibles 2 is such a fleet treat that it doesn't always stop for its characters' pathos to really connect. But that limitation is somewhat mitigated by the warmth of the voice performances. Brought to you by Cineworld. The Rap, Robert Abel. Bird has enriched the genre beyond the usual hurrah/comic brio with piquant commentary on fan cultism, our screen-dependent lives, and gender role biases. In other words, here comes Incredibles 2 to save the day, the weekend, your summer, and maybe even your Marvel/DC/superhero fatigue. IndieWire, David Ehrlich, B+. Incredibles 2 gets off to a rocky start before growing into one of the great movies of its kind. Once the menacing and mysterious screenslaver is introduced, inciting a Spielberg-level monorail chase that reaffirms Bird's lucid gift for kinetic and character-driven action filmmaking, the movie blasts off and never looks back. Entertainment Weekly, Darren Franick, B+. The thrills are always there, and you can enjoy the jazzy Michael Giacchino score, the sweet stay-at-home dad gags. But don't let the dazzle fool you. Birds made the weirdest Pixar movie ever, revolutionary and retro, an anti-authoritarian ode to good parenting. Variety, Owen Gleberman. I wish I could say that Incredibles 2, which Bird also wrote and directed, is the great sequel The Incredibles deserves. It is not. It's got a touch of the first film's Let's Try It On spirit, and it's a perfectly snappy and chucklesome and heartfelt entertainment, with little retro felicities you latch onto, yet something is missing: the thrill of discovery, the crucial sensation that the movie is taking us someplace we haven't been.